About a year ago, we were here in Baltimore catching up with restaurants who never got their money from the Restaurant Revitalization Fund. Now, a year later, we're checking up on the state of restaurants.
Every restaurant has something different their customers always come back for.
The local oyster started in 2015.
Here in Baltimore, it's likely you'll find it to be seafood.
We have been shucking oysters and serving crab cakes for the last 7 years.
But those signature flavors disappear if a business can't stay afloat.
We were not generating any revenue. We were simply incurring losses and debt throughout the entire pandemic.
And the local oyster has already had to close one of their locations. Their last spot remains standing, but shakily.
Thinking about business before COVID is sort of like thinking about college. Like, it's just a haze. It's like I can't even really remember what it was like. It's just so different.
Owner Patrick Hudson says they are one of the thousands of businesses who saw their approval for the Restaurant Revitalization Fund revoked last year. Congress provided $28.6 billion in grants, but funding dried up, and 2/3 of the restaurants that were approved for funding received nothing.
What that does is that leaves the local oyster in a position where we have hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt going forward. And to be honest, I don't know how sustainable that is. I don't know how that's going to last.
It's been over a year since that bad news was delivered, but the ripple effects of the pandemic continue to affect them every minute of every day.
And it's kind of surreal. And people will come up to me during service and say, well, I'm really glad you survived the pandemic. And I just have to shake my head. I mean, we're going to be struggling with the impact of the pandemic for the next generation of restaurant owners.
It would be like equating you to having a year and a half worth of mortgage payments that you hadn't been able to pay, and all of a sudden you get a job. Well, yeah, you're going to be able to pay your mortgage, but that year and a half worth of mortgage payments is still hanging out there.
That's Damie Hahn. She runs Fadley's Seafood just a few minutes down the road.
We just felt like the hits just kept coming. And once we thought everything was beginning to get better, then this incredible inflation hit. And it has been difficult again.
Give me an order of fried clams.
They've been in business for more than 130 years, yet these last few years have been unmatched.
So we've had to raise prices. We've had to cut items off the menu that we can't carry anymore because they're just too expensive. Fishing. It's been terrible to try to get fish because the poor guys, all their boats are diesel, and the diesel's outrageous.
We had an order that looked so good.
Fish and seafood have gone up dramatically. Some of it 2 and 3 times what we paid in 2019.
These are the kinds of roadblocks that can change a restaurant's identity.
We consider ourselves really ambassadors of the Chesapeake region. So we make sure that we have local fish, local crab, local oysters, the real local seafood.
And it worries Damie for the future of the industry.
But this industry is so important. We tell the story of the Chesapeake, but there's restaurants who tell stories of the farms and the other industries.
In Baltimore, I'm Jessie Cohen reporting.